Good afternoon, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. I'm your host, Ross World. And today, I'm going to ask some simple questions to you guys. I really want to know, what is your relationship with money? Okay, what is your relationship with money? A lot of us has very destructive, very negative relationships with money. We really do, because we get money and the only thing we tend to do is spend money. We don't multiply our money. There's very few of us that actually go out and multiply our money. So with that being said, I brought with me some props. I love props every now and again. So we're going to look at some real money here, real money. Now, my question is, if you got real money and I just tore it, what is money? It's paper, right? I bought some silver. Okay. I got them labeled so I know what it is. You know, that's real silver. So that's another form of money. Okay. What else do I have here? I got some gold, some real gold. Yep. US 1 ounce of gold, American Eagle Bullion. That's real gold. If you guys want to look at that. Okay. That's how real gold looks. Got some other here. So what is your relationship with money? Is money a tool to make more money? Let me tear this again. So, you know, guys, I'm not going to take it back up. Okay. Let me pull out another one, because this will let you know I'm doing something to your mind right here. Because some of you are going crazy. Like, why is he tearing up money? Okay. This is real money. Okay. This is what people do. People don't really show you this close because, you know, that's all hundreds right here. That's real money. But who really cares about money if it's just paper? It's not even tangible. Okay. What is your relationship with money? Because that is what you guys are doing. You're tearing up $100 of bills. I mean, you guys are not investing your money. You're not saving your money. Because here's the thing. I would ask most of you, I would say, how much do you have in your emergency fund? Well, you know, but when I ask you how much you're investing, you tell me, oh, I'm investing $2,000 right now, Ross World. I'm investing $3,000 right now. Whoa. So you have the money to invest, but you don't have an emergency fund. What is your relationship with money? See, growing up in Southeast DC, my relationship with money is I go out, I work my butt off, and then I go spend it all, and then I got to do that all over again. How do you believe that wealthy people become rich? Other than generational wealth, other than inventing something or innovating something, they save up their money. They save up their money. See, middle class America and lower class America, we have to do a couple of things to set ourselves up for success. First and foremost, you need a budget, because your relationship with money is up here. Your budget is in your mind. See, when I ask people, I say, well, let me see your budget. Oh, well, you know, I pay $1,200 for my mortgage. No. Let me see your budget on paper, because your budget, if it's up here, that's not a real budget. That's a thought. That's an idea. See, I have an idea how much money I spend a month. But when you put it on paper, you know, it tells the true story. You know, it tells the true story. That's why when people take reports, that's why when cops take police reports, they write it down. Because they just can't go around remembering all that information, because you're going to forget what? Details. You have a negative mindset when it comes to money. When it comes to money, you have a negative mindset when it comes to money, because you just, the only thing when you see $100, guess what you're thinking? You're thinking about all the things that you can spend. Let me drop it for effect. You're thinking about all the things that you can spend. So what is your relationship with money? See, my relationship when I was growing up, I worked hard, I spent hard, I party hard. And next thing you know, I'm digging in my pockets and I don't have nothing to show for. I don't have any savings. I don't have any investments. My credit score was it 560? You know what you can get with 560 credit score? let me show you what you can get with a. If you go out to a lender and you say, "Hey, I want a loan for this amount of money," and they say, "Okay, we're going to run your credit and see what you qualify for." He's going to come back and I'm going to tell you what he's going to give you. He's going to give you this. Sir, you can't get nothing without horrible credit score. I'm sorry. As a matter of fact, you're going to have to give us money to loan you money. That is what's going to happen. Okay. See, here's the thing. Money is this living, growing thing. You have to nurture it. It's a baby. You have to take care of it. And if you don't, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You're going to be broke for the rest of your lives. This pandemic, COVID-19, this stimulus payment, this stimulus check ain't going to mean nothing to you. Because your relationship with money is here, right? You don't think about all the different ways. You're like, okay, let's take, for instance, right, you're waiting for your stimulus check. All right, I'm going to take out a 20. And you say, with this $20, I'm going to put in my savings account. I'm going to put in my emergency fund because I never want to depend on the government again for my money for at least 3 to 6 months. See, growing up where I grew up at, I won't say names, but some of my family members were drug dealers. They were drug dealers. And I can't fathom how much money they had, but we still lived like we were poor. And I don't know if they were selling enough drugs just to get by, because only a couple of people in the house had a job. I mean, I was a kid, so I didn't have a job. But the point I'm making is, even when they got money, they went off to Atlantic City, that's the Las Vegas of the East Coast, and gambled their money away or going out to eat. See, right now, people are like, oh, I haven't been out to eat in such a long time. Oh, you mad because you got to cook now? You're going out and actually picking out your own groceries? Don't you know that most of Americans, okay, and when I say most, let me give a percentage. I want to go out on a limb and say about 40% of Americans eat out 3 times a week. Eat out 3 times a week. What I mean by eating out, it doesn't mean that you physically go out. You DoorDash it, you Grubhub, you Uber Eats, you Postmates. You have food from the outside coming in. And how much is that bare minimum? Bare minimum is about $12. Okay, $12, $13, $14 every single meal. Tell me, with $12, $13, $40, what can you get at the grocery store? Today, I went to the grocery store and I got bacon, eggs, and 3 avocados with $20. How many meals is that? That's about 4 to 5 meals or even more. I mean, I eat 3 eggs for breakfast. I eat about 3 or 4 slices of bacon when I eat meat. So I have about 3 to 4 meals. But when you go and spend that money frivolously because your relationship with money, okay, let me get another one, is horrible. Because that's exactly what you're doing. Who cares about the paper money? It's just paper. See, money, dollar money is not really tangible. Well, it's tangible because you can hold it, right? But in a sense, it's only a promissory note. That's really what money is. Let me see. On a dollar bill, it says something about the Federal Reserve. Okay, this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. Meaning whatever sector you're dealing with money is, that this piece of paper is backed by the federal government to be worth what it's worth. So I don't know if you ever looked at it, but it says right there, if you can read it, let me see where it is. Maybe I'm too close. There it is. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. You see that? That's what this is. This is a promissory note that the federal government gets. So this is not even essentially real. So what is real? See, I don't need anybody to back gold. They can stamp whatever they want on real gold. They can stamp whatever they want, any emerald. But at the end of the day, if this was blank, this is still real gold. So this is tangible, okay? That's a commodity. And then silver, my first favorite other than gold, silver, okay? Silver, that's tangible. It don't matter what people actually stamped on it. It's real silver. And that's real money. So my point is, I want to deconstruct the problem that you have when it comes to your people tied to money. People are greed over money. We understand that money is a tool for a couple of things. First and foremost, money could be a tool to get more money. Money could be a tool in order for you to exchange with another person to get what you essentially want. Let me read some of your notes before I get deeper here. Teddy Woodson says, what up, Raw's World? My money is making money. Well, I'm glad it is, Teddy. And have a Cash App link in the bottom. You can always give me some of that money making money. I'm never joking. I used to have a negative relationship with money. This is Terrell. I used to have or Terrell, you know, he gets mad when you call him. But anyway, have a negative relationship with money. Now I learned how to have positive relationship with money. Can Coder says, Ross, thanks for reply from the other day. No problem. My pleasure. Wadner says, I need to buy gold. The price is going up crazy lately. Indeed it is. That's why I bought it. Nolan says, what's up, Ross and people? What up, Nolan? The reason why people eat out at restaurants is because they can't cook. Can Cook says, cooking at home is so much cheaper. I bought a 7.5 pound of chicken for $5 even. That's phenomenal. And that 7.5 pound chicken could probably feed you one person for at least a week and a half. Like, and because we know the national, I'm not going to get into nutrition, but the amount of meat you should eat a day is like 4 ounces. Other than that, you're just going to blow it up your gut and your stomach. So my thing is this, when we talk about positive relationship with money, I don't look at money like, you know what, I'm going to go out and buy. I'm going to go out and buy. If you're going to have the mindset of going out and buying something, then I want you to buy investments. I want you to buy stock. But before you even do that, this is what I need you to do with your mindset of money. I just want you to rip it up. Because the relationship you think you have with money, you know, soon as you get $1 in your pocket. Do I got any smaller bills in here? No, they all 20s. They all 20s and hundreds, 20s and hundreds. What that 20 doing up there? That is your relationship with money. It's very negative because some of you, soon as I tore up that money, your mind went left. You was just like, there's no way he's just tearing up money. Now, let me ask you something. I'm very explicit in some of the things that I actually explained to you. First and foremost, if anybody knows me in a chat, do you believe that I'm tearing up money for the effect of the people? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Give me a yes or no if you think I'm tearing up money for the effect to have on people to change their stinking thinking. Anybody, please. Somebody talk to me. I'm in here with a couple of people. I got about 8 people in the chat. Let me know, what do you think? Am I tearing up money for the effect that it has on you guys? Or I'm just messing with you? Tell me. Because in order to enact change, I have to break the cycle of pain. I have to break the negative connotation and connection that you have with money. Because it's easy to make money and it's even easier to lose money through very different means. Okay, John Cox says, what's going on, John? And Thelma, nice to see you as well. For the effect. Okay, so let me tell you guys, if you've seen some of my videos, I have props. And I don't reveal it now. So this is this is a real $100 bill. This is a fake one. Okay. Can I get them in the screen? There we go. This is the real one. This is the fake one. I was tearing up this money. There's no way in the world, there's no way in God's green earth, I'm going to tear up $100. Because you know what? If I have the audacity to tear up a real $100 where we have hungry and starving people who are struggling, then I'll be a damn fool and I will want you to turn off this video immediately because he's an idiot. But I would never tear up $100. I'll tear up these fake Chinese dollars that people show on YouTube all the time. Okay, that's fake. So let me just tear one up again because it's fun, because it's not real money. But I will probably throw up if I tore up real money. Okay. All right. What are your questions today? I really want to know, if you guys will, in the chat, please, in one word, explain your relationship with money. If you can, one word, maybe 1 or 2 words. 1 or 2 words, explain to me, what is your relationship with money? I really want to know, because if I had to explain my relationship with money 15 years ago, 12 years ago, my word would be tragic. Let me write that in the chat. My word would be tragic. How you spell tragic? Did I spell that right? Isn't tragic like magic? Okay, John Cox said, I respect it. Okay, he respects money. What else? Thelma, what do you have? And Can Club and Nolan and Terrell and Wagner. What is your relationship with money? And Teddy Woodson, what are you guys' relationship with money? Give me one word, 1 to 2 words that explains your relationship with money. Because in order to get to the root of the issue, to get to the root of the problem, we have to first notice that we have an issue with money. Like, soon as you think of money, do you think of things that you can buy, things that you can purchase? Or do you think about, first, I need to save some money? Or as some people in the financial world would say, first, I need to pay myself. I'm going to tell you something about that term. I need to pay myself. What does that mean? Let me bark on this a little bit. Wait a minute. So you're going to pay yourself. How are you going to pay yourself? How are you going to pay yourself first if you got bills to pay? So the notion of paying yourself is, if you have a budget, then you know essentially how much you have left over. So with that budget, you already know that you're going to deposit a certain amount of money in your savings. But there's a lot of people, who are living paycheck to paycheck, who cannot pay themselves. All right, Wagner says, invest comes to mind when I think of money. Okay, invest. That's his word, invest. Teddy Woodson said, it used to be a side chick, but I would use wife. That is a very good terminology, Teddy. I like that one. I love that term, side chick, right? Because you kind of miscellaneously and inadvertently just like, use it however. But when it's your wife, you want to talk to her. You're like, baby, where do I need to put you so you can grow and you can make the most money? I love you, but there's better uses for you. I can't take you out tonight. We got to do what's right for us. Oh, sorry. I was talking to my money. Sorry. But that's the relationship that we need to have. You got to wife that money. Now, here's the thing. I don't want us to get to the point where we are overly assessing about money. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm talking about to the point where Teddy was talking about, where we respect the money, right? It's no longer our side chick. It's our wife. We respect it. We nurture it. We love it. We talk to it gently, like petals on a flower, so to speak. Thelma says, I have a scarcity of mindset. Thelma, if you can you explain that a little bit better so the viewers and the people in the chat can understand a little bit better? I would appreciate that. Davey D says, saving for my future goals and most importantly, emergency. Great. That's awesome, Davey, because I tell you right now, I would be hurting if I didn't have a emergency fund. I would be. And it hurts to even go in my emergency fund. And the other day I did, how to build an emergency fund, and how you build an emergency fund is quite easily. Okay. The goal is to one day have 6 months of all your expenses paid up. But the way you start is any money remaining after you pay your bills. Yes, I know you want to go out to eat. I know you want to go to amusement parks. I know you want to buy the new headphones. I know you see looking at that TV that has touchscreen, Blu-ray. It has all this stuff, Wi-Fi. It's 120 hertz. It's 75 inches. It's curved. If you clap, it turns on. If you snap, it turns the channel. I don't know. But the point I'm making is we want all the things that we see, but it doesn't bring any value. It doesn't bring any value. What is the value of buying objects if you already have an object that works perfectly fine? Can Killer says, I wish I could use a wife as an index fund. I'm not getting it, but I think I get it. Teddy would say, I'm glad you got my analogy. Indeed. So my thing is, guys, we have to develop a positive mindset when it comes to money, because everything that's going on in the world right now, the reason why a lot of us are depending on the government to bail us out during this time of need is because of this pandemic that none of us had any control of. Is because let's this is hard for me to say because I don't want to be rough on anybody. But the truth of the matter is, we did not do the right thing by our money. Going back to what Teddy said, we cheated on our wife. We cheated on our wife with the side chick. And that is the reason why a lot of us are sitting idly by waiting for a stimulus check that is taking an extremely long time to come. And none of us are depending on these bills, which I do hope they pass, because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm human, and I know that I was in a predicament where I couldn't save an emergency fund. I really couldn't. I had bills out the yin yang, and I was living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm not going to lie to you. I was so broke living paycheck to paycheck back in 2005, 2007, where I was going down hills, putting my car in neutral, right? So it wouldn't be pumping no more gas. Like the gears were in neutral instead of me trying to, press the gas to go quicker. I was doing weird things in order to save money. I was taking my garbage to my job so I wouldn't have to pay a garbage because I was in the house at the time. I was like, well, how do I save money? Like, you know what? I'm gonna tell the trash people start coming. I'm just gonna take the trash to the job site. And now I'm getting at my job site an hour early so nobody don't see me. And I'm looking like, oh, that's when I first started realizing maybe I need to start looking for cameras because somebody can get fired for this. But I was doing anything and everything that I can in order to save money or in order to live that next paycheck. I was doing some weirdly things. I'll tell you another thing I did. On my expedition, one of the windows somehow got busted out, right? Got busted out. And when the windshield repair guy came, he told me the price of my deductible with my insurance company was $200. So I said, well, I only have $100 cash. I said, could you up the invoice $100? And that way it covers it. They cover it, and I just give you the $100 in cash. And it's fraudulent. I know it's fraudulent, but I didn't have any other choices, like the safety of the vehicle not being broken into and glass everywhere, and at the time it was extremely cold. So he did that for me, but he knew and I knew it was a very fraudulent act. But these are some of the things that I actually had to go through because guess what? How did I get to the point where I was living paycheck to paycheck? That's a good question. How did I get to the point where I was living paycheck to paycheck? While you guys answer that, I'm going to read some of your notes. But please, I want somebody to answer that question. How did I get to the point where I was living paycheck to paycheck? See, Cankler says, I wish I could use it as a wife as index fund. Thelma says, I grew up with a single mother, and maybe that affect the way I see money. Indeed, I understand that. Soto says, my relationship with money is a love-hate one, which all of us have that particular relationship, believe it or not. He says, I love it, but it hates me. Your expenses pass your means. Soto, you are right. But here's the thing. Let's back up a little bit. Again, we're deconstructing our relationship with money because I really want you to get the gist of this. When you say that my expenses pass your means, you're absolutely 1,000% correct, Soto. But how did I get to even that point? I'm going to tell you why. I was living above my means. I was taking out loans. Personal loan, I got a car loan, I got a house, I got a truck, I got this, I got that. I was like, okay, well, I need this, and this in the house. So I wasn't looking at my budget, meaning I wasn't looking at the amount of money that I had coming in, and I sure damn wasn't looking at the amount that I have going out. The next thing you know, here I am struggling, living paycheck to paycheck. And let me tell you what people do when they live paycheck to paycheck, and it pisses me off the most because I went through it. It was me. And when somebody sells me wolf tickets, I get absolutely mad. Do not sell me wolf tickets, ladies and gentlemen, because I can see through your bull crap. Okay. I can see through your bull crap. Because here's the thing. How did I get to the point where I was living above my means? When my expenses surpasses my income. I did it. I applied for it. I did it all to myself. But you know what people do who live paycheck to paycheck? They blame everybody else. And I'm going to tell you how it goes. Oh, you don't know my life. You don't know how I'm struggling. Man, I'm over here doing this. I'm doing that, man. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I'm just trying to work hard. And then you look, oh, man, that's just real bad times for you. I wonder how things went for you. Excuse me. Aren't you the one who applied for the loan? Aren't you the one who went in debt on your credit card? Now, granted, some of you have different circumstances, whereas though a loved one or a family member or a friend overuse your credit card, or you out the kindness of your heart gave somebody a substantial amount of money thinking they were going to pay you back and they didn't. There's a lot of reasons why people get into financial hardships, but let me tell you the number one culprit. You're looking at them. You're looking at them. Put up a mirror. You're looking at them. It's you. This is the reason, because people don't like tough conversations. People want to give one of those soft-spoken, I feel for you. I just think that if you would just, make a budget. You want somebody to talk nice to you. No, it's you. It's you. It's you. Because the first thing that a lot of us think about money is, oh, I need to go out and get a certification, a trade, a degree, and make a lot of money. Okay, you never make a lot of money. Okay, and the only people I know that make a lot of money, they're called the treasurer. Okay, at the mint, they make a lot of money. You have to earn a lot of money, and guess the only way you're earning a lot of money is you're doing some sort of work. Okay, you're doing some sort of work. So we have to deconstruct the negative connotation and connection that we have with money. And the first thing you need to understand is that the villain, the enemy, is you. Is you. Now, granted, it's not all of you, but you know who I'm talking about. Oh, yeah, you know who the hell I'm talking about. Because you know how your kids do stuff and they lie to you, and you like, stop lying, Tyrone. I was a kid, I did the same stuff. Just stop lying. And then you catch them in the lie all day because you did the same stuff and they trying to do the same stuff on you, and you're catching them in the lie. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to catch you in the lie all day when people give me bogus stories because I was you. Very rarely that somebody tells me a story and it's actually true. Like sometimes I just hear the most outlandish stories, and I'm really going through my mind. I'm looking at all the evidence. I'm looking at all the information, and I'm just breaking it down. I'm like, okay, what did you do? What hand did you play in this? Now, granted, there's a few occurrences and situations where you got duped. Okay, you got tricked. I got it. I've been tricked. I've been duped. I've been robbed. Listen, I was even robbed from my wife. Okay, my ex-wife. I was robbed. She stole $1,000 from me going through the divorce. I'm gonna tell you why, because I think this is very uplifting and very I won't say inspirational, but very revealing information. So we was going through a divorce and we were selling the house. Okay, we were selling the house. And up until that point, I was always giving her half of the mortgage. I was always giving her half of the mortgage, like clockwork. I had it on a an allotment, a monthly allotment of $1,000 a month. So I was paying half the mortgage. She was paying half the mortgage. So as we was going through the divorce proceedings, but we were still living in the home, she started to move out. And I was still living in the home, but we still had to pay the mortgage until the house was sold. So I get a call from Wells Fargo. They say, Mr. Ross, you are 30 days behind on your mortgage. I'm like, well, how could I be 30 days behind on my mortgage? I said, my ex-wife is paying it. Oh, well, sir, we haven't received the payment. I call her up. She like, yeah, I didn't pay it. Excuse me? How can we go through selling this house and you're not paying the mortgage? Well, you're just going to have to figure it out. This blatantly stole the money. Blatantly stole the money, which put me in a bind with Wells Fargo, right? Because Now the house was in good standing. The next thing you know, I'll just say that the money didn't equal out to the point where I could sell it at a regular selling point. Now I had to do a short sale, and we all know that hurts your credit. Then there was a remaining amount that I had to pay for $500. She wouldn't pay that either. I had to borrow. I was hurting so bad at this point because I threw everything I had into this marriage, into this house, into everything we had. I had to borrow $500 from a good friend of mine, and he did with no problem, and I paid him back. But do you understand the embarrassment of a grown man going to somebody else, borrowing money, knowing that I have a job, knowing that I have assets, knowing that I have investments? Because how did I pay him back? I needed the money quicker than my investments could sell, right? Because we know investments takes like anywhere from 3 to 4 days to execute for the money to deposit in your bank, because it executes then depending on what investment platform. Like me, I'm with Fidelity, I'm with Robinhood, Wealthfront, but it takes time for this money to be deposited to your bank account. So I had to borrow money. Say, man, I'll pay you back. With interest, nah, man, just give me $500 back. Okay, cool. And I had to sell some of my investments to pay, because I thought I had all my finances set up. But when somebody does you wrong with your money, it sets you back a little bit. So I understand those special circumstances. But let me tell you this, I've been through it all. It's like that Jesus song, I've been through it all. But anyway, this kind of rang in my brain. But anyway, but my point is, I understand that majority of the time, ladies and gentlemen, it's you and I. It's you and I. I'm going to read some of your notes here. John Cox, careless spending. You hit the nail on the head, sir. Careless spending is where it's at. Soto says, that's how you got to paycheck to paycheck. Indeed. Cankler says, wife is the most expensive bill. It depends on what wife you have. It depends on what lady or male you have. This is interchangeable, because male and females both have the same problem. One is a spender in a relationship, and the other is a saver in a relationship. So when they say opposites attract, let me tell you something. If you know deep down in your soul that you are a spender, do not go out and get one of those Hollywood chicks. Don't go out and get one of those TV. And this is just an analogy, or also a metaphor, that they may not be on TV. They may not live in Hollywood, but they have that mindset of they always, I love shopping. I love this. I love that. Man, shoot, every time the new J's come out, I just got to get the new J's. Then the J's come out, that's around $200, $300, $400. Then I got to get a new hat. No bueno. No. You have to get somebody with a different mindset than you. Okay? You need a spender and you need a saver. Now, if you can get somebody who is metamorphosized into both, then that's a good thing. But you can't have both spenders and you can't have both savers, because both savers, you guys gonna be looking like hobos, right? You need somebody that's gonna go out and say, hey, listen, we need a printer. Why we need a printer? We can go to Xerox, we can go to Kinko's. No. It's more advantageous and more beneficial to buy a printer. It don't have to be an expensive printer. So that's what I'm saying. You gotta have opposites attract in this particular nature is a good thing. Soto says, I run around the house, turn off lights, saying, because we're rich, right? Oh my God, Soto. Hey, Soto, I'm just like you. I hate to say the word Nazi, but it's something I've been using for years. I'm gonna stop it. But I used to say I'm a light Nazi. Cause or who's the guy's name? Teddy Pendergrass. Turn them off. Yeah, turn them off. And I'll be serious when I say it. Okay. It comes out very comically. It comes out like very funny, but I'm like, no, turn them damn lights off, right? And don't have things plugged into the wall that don't have nothing on the end of charging. Okay, I don't want to get off too up. You sent me back, Soto. You sent me back. King Keller says, I was working 9 to 5, but luckily I saved my money for the past 15 years. Hey, indeed, sir. I like that. Beautiful lies over ugly truth. Excuse me. Ugly truth over beautiful lies all day, because at the end, hey, Roxanne Wilson, you said you're a money magnet. Are you listening to Kevin Gates? Because he got a song called Money Magnet. Anyway, I listened to him anyway. Thelma says, yes, you're right. Right. Yes, you're tight. Right. Oh, yes, you're right. Okay. Cankula says your dogs. Literal glad you left the plantation. There are good wives out there, but only few have resale value. Ooh, Cankula, you trying to be a philosopher? He using some metaphors. I'm telling you, y'all better read into it. John Cox says, "Man, didn't that hurt your heart?" Indeed, it did. And Davey D says, "Having kids is most expensive." Soto says, "I respect you. I've been subscribed to you for a short while now. The other thing I do is walk around singing every light in the house is on and a country song too." I'm sorry. That's so funny. It's kind of like growing up in the hood, where the AC was on, and even if you open up the door, you either had your grandmother or big mama, whatever you want to call her. She always shut that damn door. Ain't nobody AC in the outside. They always had something to say just because you was entering and exiting the door, right? This is the relationship we have with money, ladies and gentlemen, right? Because there's some money saving tips that we may do with our home that'll save us money. But you know what people do in turn? They spend their money. They spend the money that they're actually trying to save. That is the problem that I have with you guys. Now, if it doesn't pertain to you, don't think I'm talking to you. But deep down inside, a lot of us, we still have a very destructive, very negative relationship with money. And I'm here to tell you some of the things you have to do in order to break that mold, in order to get on the right track. Is very, very, very simple. The first thing you need to do is up here is to change the way you think about money. See, before I get to any paper, any budget, we have to really get inside our thought. And this is why I meditate 5 minutes a day. I take out 5 minutes a day, and some people are like, that's not a long time. Well, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If you never meditated, if you never just sat down in a comfortable chair, right, and close your eyes and just breathe, not trying to think, and that's the worst thing, not trying to think about something, but you're thinking about something. And you just take deep breaths, you're very relaxed, and you're meditating. It is the most wonderful thing that you can absolutely do for yourself. Don't have the TV on. Don't have the sound on your phone on. Go somewhere quiet and just relax. Try 5 minutes. Try 5 minutes. I'm going to up mine to 10 minutes, right? Because there's some people who do it for hours. I'm not there yet. But let me tell you, so much clarity comes in mind. Because all day, you're being fed information. You're being fed information, whether it be notification on your phone from YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, whatever social media platform. Then if you got Yahoo News, Google News, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, you have you got your family, you got your friends contacting you. The question is this: when are you going to take time for yourself to get your mind right so you can get right with money? Because you're watching TV, you're listening to music, all of that is using you up. You need some time for yourself every day. Every day. And that goes besides reading a book. Because you know I love reading books. It goes besides watching TV. And I love watching TV. It goes besides playing video games. Like, oh, I'm playing video games because it breaks up my stress. And it does for me. Like if I'm agitated or I built up anxiety or I'm stressed, playing a good Call of Duty or beating somebody in Madden like I did my boy a couple of minutes ago, D'Angelo, I beat your butt. I sure did. 49-17. I hope he watches this video so he can know. But anyway, I do those things so I can become less stressed. But at the end of the day, kind of like a Shaolin monk meditating up at a Buddhist temple, I just soak it all in. I just relax with nothing on. I don't want to hear a sound. So you know why? Because while the world is loud around you, it's okay to be quiet. I want you to think about what I just said. While the world is loud around you, it's okay to be quiet. Because when you are quiet, that is when real thought-provoking comes into mind that sprouts the growth of ideas and actually puts your spirit and your soul in line to do the right things by yourself, to do the right things for your family. But you can't do that if you're always distracted. If you're reading, your mind is distracted reading a book. If you're watching TV, your mind is distracted. If you're talking on the phone with friends and family, if you're on social media, you are distracted. So this is much more than going out and earning money. This is much more than just making a budget. This is much more than investing. This has something to do on such a spiritual and soulful level that you can't even imagine if you're not taking a little bit of time out the day for yourself. Because we know who the enemy is. We know who the villain in this story is. It's you. It's me. In order to do the things I'm asking you, you have to get right here first. And that's what I'm trying to get you. And then we can move on to creating a budget. Because when people tell me, yeah, I have a budget because they have all the information up here, that's not a budget. That's not a plan. That's a thought. That's an idea. You think you know how much. Do you know every tax that you're being taxed? Do you know how much the tax fluctuates sometimes monthly? Do you know? That's why some people sit down at the end of the month and go over their budget. Say, oh, did we overspend? Did we underspend? Or did I overspend or did I underspend? That's the beauty of a budget. It's kind of like airing out your dirty laundry. You know, you see all these skits on social media or through life because it happened. And I hate to be grotesque, where men will have streaks of feces, of manure, of dookie in their underwear. See, that's airing your dirty laundry, because we have to understand, when you put it on paper, when you put that budget on a sales spreadsheet or some budgeting app like Mint or YNAB or any one of those, where it actually tells you how much you have going in and have going out, you will be flabbergasted. You will be like, whoa, wait a minute. What? Wait a minute. Whoa. I spend $100, $200, $300. I spend $300 in entertainment a month. You mean to tell me I got Hulu, I got Vudu, I got Netflix, I got Amazon Prime, I got Disney, I have Plex, I have you spent $300, and I have cable with all the channels. I got the NFL Game Pass, I got the NBA Game Pass. I'm spending $300 or $400 in entertainment a month. Some of you don't even know that. Some of you don't even know that. All right, let me read your notes. Well, how am I doing with time? Okay, I'm still under my hour. You know, I like to stay under an hour. All right, let me read some of your notes. I got to go back here. Soto says, I want to save money, but I'm scared that hoarding dollar bills may be hurtful here in the short run. I'm going to read your next message, and I'll get back to that. I feel like holding money in Bitcoin may be better, but only put my money in the Bitcoin savings account. But at that point, I'm spending money again, right? Soto, at the end of the day, first, let me ask you this question, Soto. How much money you have in your emergency fund? Boom. Answer that, and then I can move on with you. John Cox, should I use my emergency fund for a truck repair coming up, or put it on my credit card and pay it off with my cash flow? John Cox, this is what I would do. Because I'm a big man, because I got this Gap credit card that gives me points and money towards Gap clothing at Gap in Old Navy. And sometimes, now granted, the benefits of a credit card of using money and getting points, it doesn't equal out. It's a scam, okay? But you can get some benefit from it. I'm going to tell you what I amount of cash flow coming in. Projection, if I take out of my emergency fund, how long is going to take me to pay it back? Because you can't assume that an emergency is going to happen. Well, you know, emergency is not going to happen. Now, I tell you, if it takes me less than 2 months to put that money back, then I will put it on my credit card, right? Then I will pay my credit card off with my emergency fund, only to get the points. Now, if I can't put that money back within 30 to 60 days, then I probably just would, if you can, because it seems as though you haven't done it yet, is just save up the money with your cash flow, then get the truck repaired. You get what I'm trying to say? Now, the second option I gave you is the most preferable option because I don't want you to touch your emergency fund. If this is your sole driver, if this truck is your truck that you drive every day, or if it's your work truck, then yeah, you need to get it fixed immediately because one, you need to get around. Two, it's kind of the source of your income. It's part of your income coming in. So hopefully I answered your question. Please let me know here if I answered your question. Soto says the Calm app can help. Apple Watches and Fitbits have apps available for the 5-minute meditation. Okay, you can use that, Soto, or guess what you can use? You can just say, hey, Google, start a timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, and we're starting now.
See? You can just do that, and it'll ring when you're done. Hey, Google, stop timer. This thing is crazy. But you can do something like that. So that's a good way. Or you can just use any sort of timer or stopwatch, whatever, doesn't matter. All right, what else do we have? Can Killer says, I cut ties with so many people because most of them going to ask for random favors within the next 3 to 5 years. My mind got more clear and started to spend more on necessities. Okay, good point. I love reading feminist blog crying about she can't find a quality man, LL. She's like age 45 and up. It's like a Kia Forte and a attitude of a Tesla. Can't kill. Look, see, this is my thing. You're trying to be some sort of like urban philosopher, and I love it. You should write a book, Can Killer. Soto says, I need to create my first budget. You do. So, you know, Soto, we can't even have another discussion about money if you can't create a budget. Here's my thing. My email's in the description of this video. You can ask anybody. The first time you call me, I give you 30 minutes of my free time, just on the phone with me talking about money or whatever you want to talk about. But the first thing I need you to do, Soto, is make a budget. Or it's not even a conversation, because guess what? I'm going to be asking you questions about your finances, see where we can squeeze money out, where we can save money out, where we can invest money out, but you don't have a darn clue because you don't have a budget, my friend. Cankula says, I'm a villain when I was chasing a woman in my 20s. Luckily, my knees gave up when I hit my... Yo, this is not a comic session, man. Stop it. I can attest to what you're saying, okay? My wife and I cannot sit and create a budget because I don't want to put it on paper and see it. Wow. Hold on. Your video came in choppy. My uncle told me I should be a writer. Okay. So Soto says something profound, ladies and gentlemen. He says something profound. And this is the issue. This is why every so often I do a video about creating a budget. Because Soto really poked the hornet's nest. He really poked the hornet's nest on this one because so many people do not want to do a budget because they are afraid that their spending habits and that their non-saving habits are going to come to light. Right? You know, having a budget is kind of turning on a light in a pitch dark room. Now you can see. And unfortunately, there's millions of people who don't want to see. So they never make a budget. And then I've even heard people that tell me, I don't have time to make a budget. But then I see the same person sit down and watch a 2-hour movie. See, writing a budget, doing a budget is not entertaining. It's not fun. It's not fun. But the ramifications of you making a budget is more advantageous than it is negative towards your financial portfolio. It's going to do you better now and in the future than not having one at all. It's kind of like, let me ask you this question, Soto, and I'm going to leave you with this, Soto. He says it's like looking at dirty underwear, but it's even worse than that. It's about driving a car and the gas needle is broke. You don't know how much you have left. You don't know how far you can go. Think about that. It's like driving in a car with a broken gas needle. You don't have any sort of indication, any measuring, any thought of how much gas you have left. So that is why I'm trying to motivate and push you guys to first creating a budget. Because if you email me and you say you have all these issues, believe me, I want to help. But if I ask you, do you have a budget? And you're like, okay, what's on your budget? I'm going to have the conversation. I'm going to have the conversation because a lot of you want help. You want advice on investing and putting your money in cryptocurrencies, which I can help you with. But why would I help somebody who won't help themselves? You know what I'm saying? You know people out there, they won't do nothing without you. You're like, hey, you can actually, hey, Google, stop. This is my problem with you don't listen to me. You have people out there who can't do nothing without somebody else. This is the one thing that you need to do by yourself. Because you're going to pay some financial advisor, some CPA, some accountant, hundreds of dollars. And the only thing they're going to ask you is this. They're going to say, hey, give me copies of all your bills and all your expenses. You're going to give him all your information, and he's going to put it in an Excel spreadsheet or some sort of app or application, right? Or some sort of software, and say, okay, I see that you have these expenses and this amount of income. If we can eliminate these expenses here, which don't seem vital, these expenses that seem more of a want than a need, then we can free up $50 to $100. And you're going to pay that guy hundreds of dollars. You know what? How about this? If you want to pay people money to teach you about your finances and do your budget and stuff like that, I have my Cash App link in the description below. Just give me hundreds of dollars, okay? And I'm going to give you the same information they're going to give you. Well, guess what? I just gave you the information for free. Didn't even get paid for it. Didn't even get paid for it. This is my point, ladies and gentlemen. We have to deconstruct the negative connection that we have with money. Because if we did, a lot of people in different communities wouldn't be waiting for the stimulus check. Let me tell you something. There's probably some people in the Jewish community who got the stimulus check and they laughed. They're like, $1,200. What am I going to do with this? Bar mitzvah. Hey, they're going to throw a party with the money because they don't even need it. They're rich. They probably got the $1,200. They figured out a way how to get the $1,200. Some people in the Asian community don't need the money, but they still took the money and they laughed and they smiled because they're like, I'm just going to save it. I'm just going to save it. See, that's what we need to figure out. What is everybody else doing that we are not doing? And this has nothing. I can make it about race because there's black people that's good with money. There's black people that's bad with money. There's Hispanic people good with money. Hispanic people bad with money. So on and so forth. But let's just say the black and brown communities, we have more issues with money than most people, right? And we blame it on education, opportunity, resources, etc. So then my question will probably go to, well, you had a job, you have this, you have that, you have income coming in. What are you doing with your money? This is the excuses I get all the time. Well, I've been working so hard. I need to treat myself. No, you don't have enough money to treat yourself. Well, no, I've been working hard. You can't tell me. I'm not trying to tell anybody to do with their money. But here's my thing. You are grown. You are an adult. So when you get in financial troubles, don't come crying to me. Don't come crying to me like, man, I just don't know what to do, man. I'm struggling. I got this going on. As I said before, you are at fault for your own decisions that you have made. And it's tough. And granted, I make bad decisions all the time. But with saying that, I make more good decisions than I do bad decisions, that keeps me afloat at the end of the day. Sometimes I can be a spender. And if anybody knows me, sometimes your boy can spend some money. Right now, I haven't really spent any money. I haven't had nothing to come to my doorstep in a very, well, let me stop lying. I bought these earphones. These are the new Google Pixel earphones. But anyway, that is the first thing I bought in like 2 or 3 months. And if anybody knew me, I was buying stuff from Amazon because we all love Amazon. Let's not lie. Stuff was coming on my doorstep every other day. But now that you bought everything, what am I using money for? What am I using money for? I have to get back to the basics of what is a true value and use of money. And it's to make more money. See, I understand how rich people get rich. I do. First and foremost, they understand that they use debt as a vehicle for income, right? As a lot of my rich buddies will say, there's bad debt and that's good debt. Bad debt don't make you money. Good debt makes you money. Take, for instance, let's say, for instance, I know some of you have houses out there. You buy a house. Somebody answer this question. Is it good debt or bad debt? Buying a house, good debt or bad debt? Let's just talk about that for a second. I'm going to read some of your notes. Cankler says, I can't lie, I saw taking a stock and budgeting more serious thanks to you and Mr. Research. Well, thank you, Cankler. I have enough guts to say no if the deal is not legit. John Cox says, man, I love my budget. It lets me know where I'm at from the beginning in the middle and for the end of the month. Indeed. And so does Dolly Smith agrees. How you doing, Ashley? Dolly says, dang, if that's the case, I'm a financial advisor. Indeed, you are. We all financial experts. Either if you broke or got money in your pocket. Still haven't spent my $1,200 yet. Well, as I have said it, see, I'm giving out these subliminal messages. There's a link in the description. While you send me the money, I'm going to tear up the money. Yeah, buddy. I'm going to tear up some money, and then I'm going to show some money. Deconstructing the mind when it comes to money, tearing it up. Soto says, I'm a spender too. I'm so freaking close to sending you $5. Yes, Soto, do it. Do it. Cankler says, only time I spend extra when women agree to take a detour. What? He going too deep. All right, the Rook says good, and Teddy Wood says depends on the house, deconstructing the mind. So a good point, Teddy. It does depend on the house, but let's just say for the common good that houses are a good investment. To build up equity in a home, most people in real estate investing probably would tell you if you want to hold on to your single family home, 3 to 5 years to build up a good amount of equity to get, 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 out of that home. Back, returning your investment. But the point being is that's good debt. That's good debt. Now you buy some torn down shingles of a home inside of a horrible neighborhood, and you rehab that home, you build that home back up, and nobody rents it out, then yeah, that's bad. But at the end of the day, you still own property. You still own property. But as I would tell anybody, your vehicle, most people's vehicles that they're driving around in is a liability, is not an asset. See, we need to understand money. We need to understand our relationship with money. When I go out and I buy a new car, I go out and buy a used car. If that car is not making me money, if that car is not paid off, it's a liability. Yeah, Teddy. Just a little something when you want a sandwich. Thank you, Teddy. Appreciate you, brother. Believe me, I appreciate any amount of money. You can give me $1. I'll be happy-go-lucky because I'm going to invest that dollar. But the point I'm trying to make here, guys, is that the money that you spend on vehicles always will be a liability, except if you are some sort of taxi driver, Uber driver, Lyft driver, and the amount of money that you made over the course of you driving or whatever you use your vehicle for, deliveries, whatever, if the amount of money you made supersedes the amount you paid for your car, then you're in the plus, okay? It becomes an asset. Also, if the amount of money you make in driving your car, maybe you do Amazon Flex, where you use your car as a delivery service to drop off packages. If you are making more than your car insurance and your gas and maintenance because your car is already paid off, then it's an asset. It's making you money. See, the thing about a home, when you first buy a home, it's a liability, right? Some people are like, no, it's not a liability, it's an asset because I can sell it. No. It's kind of like a car in the beginning. If you bought a house, then in a couple of months sold your house, you will actually lose money. I promise you. You can ask anybody. You will lose money. If you sell it within a year, 2 years, you probably break even. You might get a pat on the back. You might get about $100-something. Oh, Can Killer. Yeah. Come on, guys. You're motivating me. $2. I made, how much I make? See, 5, 6, 7. Here's my interest for selling my ex-wife. Well, thank you. I appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. I'm not too proud to beg. But anyway, the point I'm making here, guys, is that we need to understand how money really works. Because even though we're deconstructing the mindset of the negative connotation that we have on money, well, we also need to understand how money relates to objects and purchases that we do make. So a lot of us in the beginning of buying a house, we're like, oh, this is a good buy because you can see the future profit. But right now, a home is a liability. A buddy of mine, millionaire friend of mine, he goes out and he buys properties, right? He buys them at $30,000 or 30% less than the actual listing price. Usually these are rental properties he has to do rehabs on, and then he rents them out. Now, he know initially he's going into debt even more because he's taking out a loan to repair a home, to repair these homes. Whether they're single family homes, a duplex, or a small apartment building, however you want to look at it. He understands that going into debt, essentially it's a liability until what? He starts to receive money that not only pays off the note, pays off the amount of money he has to pay to the lender, but the residual amount of money goes inside of his pocket to do what? To buy more property. It's kind of a debt income. Then it's like debt profit. He's paying off debt while he's still profiting. That is how a lot of rich people actually make a lot of money. Oh, you deserve some Happy Meal. Enjoy your COVID beef. Thank you, Can Killer. Teddy, you and Can Killer are in the competition. Who's going to win? No, I'm kidding. But thank you, guys. I appreciate your donations. I really do. And knowing me, just like I donated money to Feeding America last year, as well as change.org and some other places. Believe me, I try to do good things with the money that you guys send me. It's either going into something positive or it's going into some of my equipment for YouTube. So I'm not just out here splurging money, okay? But anyway, I want you guys to really understand what I'm getting at. I'm over my time, guys. I try not to keep you guys too long. I know the conversation is pretty good. You guys have been really involved. I'll see if I can get on later and we'll have more discussions about money. Hopefully you guys are free, so tune in then. But thank you so much for interacting during this live. Believe me, it's been a pleasure, and I hope to see you guys later on. Check your Cash App. Indeed, Soto, I will. And Soto, don't forget about my email in the description. And Soto, my brother, please do your budget. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. All right, guys, you have a great and wonderful day. I'm out. If I can remember how to end this live session here.